Developing right now, a threat to scare students in Tooele County. School leaders and law enforcement are doubling down to keep kids safe tomorrow.
We're seeing a pattern of behavior, and that is concerning to us.
A man locked up accused of holding a woman captive in his home. Why police believe these disturbing criminal acts may run in the family.
Avalanche danger in Utah is high. I'm John Franke in the newsroom. I'm tracking the areas you should avoid.
See why the city of Riverdale is celebrating this Christmas tree lot after it manages to bring tradition after an unexpected tragedy.
And we've got 2 storms on the way. Who gets hit with more snow? I'll let you know in the forecast.
We begin with a developing story into our newsroom. Rumors are circulating around Tooele tonight about classes being canceled tomorrow due to a threat of an active shooter.
But police officers and school administrators say there's nothing to these rumors.
The Tooele County School District released a statement tonight which says in part there have been multiple rumors being spread in regards to an active shooter at Tooele High School Monday, December 2nd. This is not true. Officers from Tooele City Police Department conducted a thorough investigation and found that the threat could not be substantiated.
Investigators determined that the rumor originated on a Snapchat message urging students to slough school on Monday. As the message made its way around social media, it morphed into a warning that students should skip school due to an active shooter. All threats are taken seriously and investigated, and the district said this is a reminder of how quickly false rumors can spread. As per protocol, additional law enforcement officers will be at Tooele High School tomorrow, as well as nearby Blue Peak High.
And new at 9, we're learning more about a man in West Jordan who was arrested on suspicion of kidnapping and abusing a woman inside his home for 25 days.
29-year-old Albert Tony Yazzie is not the first person in his family to be arrested for a crime like this at his home.
Fox 13's Adam Herbetz is live in studio tonight to explain. Adam?
Yeah, Brian, Kirsten, this is Tony right here on the right, arrested a few weeks ago in West Jordan. This is his uncle, Patrick, arrested for a very similar crime at the same home back in 2014. Police say there are a lot of similarities between these two cases, besides the same address and the same last name.
The family who lives at this home in West Jordan started yelling and screaming when they saw our cameras. It is not the first time we've been here or the police have been here to investigate what's going on inside.
Mr. Yazzie held a woman, an acquaintance of his, former girlfriend, captive in his house for several days, 25 days or thereabouts.
Sergeant J.C. Holt with the West Jordan Police Department is talking about Alberto Tony Yazzie. But Tony is not the only one with that last name to walk out of this home in handcuffs.
Tony is Patrick's nephew. We certainly have been over to that home a few times for different problems, and it's something that we're familiar with, unfortunately.
When she said the name, that we were pretty familiar with it, and officers surrounded the home.
Patrick Yazzie was also accused of kidnapping, raping, and abusing a woman at the home in 2014.
We're seeing a pattern of behavior, and that is concerning to us.
Police say Tony abused his victim and stopped her from showering or using the bathroom. Both him and his uncle were tased when officers came to make the arrest.
They have a strong disdain for us. They don't like us. We've been over there many times. They're generally not cooperative with us. But that's not uncommon. Some of the other neighbors that are in that neighborhood are familiar with us coming to the home, and I'm sure they're frustrated.
Police say both of the men in these cases have had multiple cases involving the department and that they believe over the years there have been multiple victims. Still, the department promised that the facts of each case have been and will continue to be investigated separate from one another. Reporting in studio, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Adam, thank you. The recent snowfall has made for poor driving conditions not only here, but in states surrounding Utah. Firefighters in Uinta County, Wyoming say 4 people were hurt after a rollover crash on I-80 near the Fort Bridger exit. Uinta County Fire is urging people to take caution and slow down on the roads to avoid wrecks, especially as people return home from the Thanksgiving holiday.
So you see some of those conditions from today, but what should we expect for the morning commute tomorrow? For those answers, we turn to meteorologist Breck Bolton with our first alert forecast. Hi, Breck.
Well, hello. We are looking at another storm that's approaching the state. But of course, today, once again, a break from the snow. Maybe you had an opportunity to go out and enjoy it. Michael Bowman, as you know, goes up the Big Cottonwood Canyon. doing some snowshoeing where over the past 6 days up through the Cottonwood Canyons, they picked up anywhere between 4 to 5 feet of new snow, all due to that Thanksgiving storm. And today's high temperatures a little bit warmer than yesterday, still fairly chilly. We only made it up to 37 degrees in Salt Lake City. That's below normal. Upper 30s in Provo, 30s from Vernal through Price, upper 30s in Moab. Official high in St. George, 48 degrees. Where we stand right now, well, it's going to be another cold night for sure. We're already down into the teens from Morgan through Park City. We stand at 10 degrees in Colville, 20s in Salt Lake City, still hanging on to the 30s throughout Utah County. Eastern Utah, it's 20s and 30s, low 40s in St. George. Clouds across northern into western, southern Utah. We look at this storm approaching. Yeah, a little disturbance rolling through. It's beginning to clip extreme northern Utah. We talk about the morning commute, looking at your hour-by-hour forecast. We keep the showers away for your morning commute. The big question is, how does your Monday afternoon commute look? We'll let you know coming up just a bit.
Thanks, Breck. We'll see you soon. And with the several feet of new snow that Breck keeps talking about, we now have a new danger to worry about: avalanches.
Fox 13's John Franke shows us the problem areas and how you can stay safe if you head up to the mountains.
Right now, steep backcountry terrain that faces north is where the danger lies. The Utah Avalanche Center says that's where snow is just hanging in the balance, waiting for a trigger.
Days of fresh snow are a skier's dream, but all that fresh powder can lead to a nightmare if you find yourself on the wrong side of the mountain.
It sort of all revolves around early October snow, mid-October snow, right? Sat around, it grew weak and sugary.
That weak layer of snow is now holding feet of snow dumped over the Thanksgiving weekend. These are photos of the current backcountry conditions. They are prime for an avalanche.
As the storm starts to evolve, right, the winds increase and then the densities of the snow ramp up and avalanches start breaking down to that old sugary layer.
The Utah Avalanche Center rates the danger as high for the Uintas, Salt Lake, and Provo areas. Avalanches are forces of nature that can be unforgiving.
You get pushed into trees like this, it's like getting strapped to the front of a locomotive and you are in the receiving end of everything in that path. So you're getting slammed into trees, carried over cliff bands.
Conditions are expected to evolve over the next few days.
It doesn't mean that you got to hide underneath the bed.
Those who want to enjoy the outdoors can, but they're advised to know their surroundings and stay where the danger is controlled.
People are super stoked to get out and get after it. Hey, it's a long season.
Now just is not the time to take a risk.
Patience is paramount.
That could be deadly.
Let's tone it down and remember that any avalanche we trigger right now could have super serious consequences.
Ski resorts conduct avalanche mitigation, so those areas are safe. The problem spots, once again, are in the backcountry. In the newsroom, John Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Traffic on northbound I-215 at Redwood Road in Davis County tied up this afternoon after a semi rollover. Investigators at the scene in North Salt Lake say a semi carrying beer waste rolled over after making too wide of a turn. They say the crash was not weather related. No one was hurt. The interstate has since been reopened.
We've learned that some of the 9 victims killed in a South Dakota plane crash were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That plane went down shortly after takeoff Saturday in Chamberlain during heavy snowfall. There were 12 people on board, 9 were killed, including the pilot and 2 children. Reports from Idaho identify the victims as business executives Jim Hansen Sr. and his sons, who you see here, Kirk and Jim Hansen Jr. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating.
The name of Master Sergeant Joseph Shinners will be added to the Fallen Officer Memorial Wall in Washington in May. It's one of the several events to honor the Provo officer during National Police Week. Shinners was shot and killed in January while attempting to arrest a fugitive in Orem. Country music star Billy Dean will perform a pair of concerts in January to raise money so Shinners' family can attend the events. For concert times and ticket information, head to our website. That's fox13now.com.
In southern Utah, a man is recovering after crashing his mountain bike at the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. Our partners at the St. George News report that around noon Saturday, that cyclist was riding with family and friends on a trail in the Paradise Canyon Castle Rock area when he crashed and got knocked out. Crews found him after an hour and he was flown to a nearby hospital for several broken bones and a head injury. He is expected to recover.
3 counties in Utah are among the fastest growing markets in America for rideshare services like Lyft and Uber. A study conducted by Finance Buzz listed the hottest 25 rideshare markets: Weber County number 6, Washington County 9th, and Utah County 13th. Each area saw impressive growth in the number of drivers and revenue generated. The study said more than 40,000 new jobs were added in Utah between 2016 and 2017 from rideshare services.
And it's simple. It's the right thing to do.
Coming up, a big change is happening. It's all to clean up the air we breathe in our state. We'll tell you how one of the nation's largest gas station chains is taking a big step right here in Salt Lake City.
And regardless of the weather conditions, the United States Postal Service will still deliver your mail. We're going to show you what you can do to help keep them safe.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Welcome back. Family and friends made their way to Salt Lake City's Wheeler Farm today to help support local businesses for their annual holiday market. At Wheeler Farms, you'll find everything is locally sourced and produced. So we're talking about everything from homemade sauces, packaged foods, craft items, and even children's clothing. Organizers of today's event say you'll be able to find the perfect gift for anyone.
We have stuff for everyone. We have a lot of low waste options if you're concerned about environmental costs. We have honey, coffee, all local, and then a lot of crafts and jewelry and things like that.
Guests are welcome to visit at any time. I actually milked my very first cow at Wheeler Farm. Wheeler Farms is open up every day of the year.
A new group working to help the homeless, SLC Outlaws, set up in Salt Lake City today to help those in need be better prepared for the upcoming winter. Experiencing homelessness as a kid, founder Johnny Martinez wants to make sure no one has to decide between dinner or warm clothing. So the Outlaws spent their week creating care packages to hand out. Each package contained a sandwich, clean clothing, even first aid and hygiene kits. Johnny says this is a small movement he hopes will make big changes.
People are like noticing, like, oh, these guys are doing this, this is how we're gonna get the attention. And that's our whole goal right now, get as much people as we can, help with these communities, help give back to the homeless, help give back to everybody. That's what our goal is.
SLC Outlaws says this is only their first step into something big. Soon they will be working on a toy drive for children this Christmas, and they're already making plans for the summer.
Holiday shopping and online Black Friday deals will soon mean that those envelopes and boxes will be arriving at your door.
Here's Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher with how you can help the people delivering your packages this holiday season.
Neither snow nor rain nor heat will stop the U.S. Postal Service's letter carriers. But the elements don't make the job any easier.
I don't like the snow just because of my job. It makes it a lot harder.
Delivering to more than 150 million addresses 6 days a week across the country, on average, 51 mail carriers are hurt by slips and falls per year. In Utah, 112 carriers were hurt last year, 48 of those in Salt Lake City alone.
There's a lot of falls, a lot of people are getting hurt. We've had a lot of people hurt already just from the snow this week.
Nikki Kubinski has been delivering the mail for more than 25 years, seeing her fair share of winters. She says people taking quick action after a storm can make a big difference.
The hardest thing is people not clearing a path to their door. That is the main thing, because ice, snow, we have to go upstairs. If it's not cleared, we'll fall.
Besides shoveling and salting a walking path, clearing around mailboxes and leaving a light on helps keep them safe.
Now is peak season, so we're gonna be delivering anytime from 6 in the morning to 9 at night. So if you could leave a light on, that would be awesome. That would help a lot.
Looking out for your letter carriers will help ensure you get all your holiday deliveries on time. In Salt Lake City, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Some really good advice there, but man, I'll tell you, those mail carriers are tough. I interviewed Jeff Burns with USPS once. In the winter, he was wearing shorts.
Help them out. That's all we're saying. Help them out, right?
We need to help them out. Underpaid for sure. But of course, we've needed to do our part, clear off those walkways, and had our fair share here over the past several days. But hopefully today, well, I know today you had a break where we didn't see much snow activity across the state. We've been able to clear out the roads, clear out those driveways. Are we going to keep them cleared off? That's the question as we're keeping our eye on a couple of storms for the upcoming week. Let's take a look, though, where officially in Salt Lake City, the high was 37 degrees. That was 5 degrees below normal, but we're slowly warming things up. It might be a little slower because, of course, we have cold at the surface, overnight temperatures getting down into the 20s. The diversion can set up, might trap in some colder air, so it's going to be a slow warm up here as we look for the upcoming week. Now we stand in the 20s currently, at least in Salt Lake City, Ogden, a little bit warmer in Provo. Mostly cloudy skies across the north. Today, we were good as it pertains to the air quality. At least the forecast looks like it should remain good as we look in Monday and Tuesday. One thing that's going to help out is we do have an approaching storm system that looks to impact northern Utah. Let's take a look at our headlines where roads look to remain dry in the overnight hours. But again, another storm lining up. It's a weak storm. And again, it's only going to be impacting northern Utah. Really just a quick brush by. But a bigger storm behind that, that's going to have a more widespread impact as we look for the rest of the state and for the rest of the week. Now, across the state, as I mentioned, some high-level clouds for northern Utah. We've got clear conditions through central Utah, high clouds across the south. Boy, a lot of shower activity, though, as we look towards Nevada throughout I-80. Kind of a mixture of rain and snow. Snow up in the higher terrain as it continues to make its push from the southwest to the northeast and beginning to clip extreme northwestern Utah up through Box Elder County. But this is the first storm we're looking at, and its target is for Monday. This is the one behind it, though, where it's going to be digging southward and tracking towards southern Utah initially, and then it looks like it'll have an impact across the north. Now, from this first storm, we don't have any winter storm warnings or winter advisories in place. Let me show you why, where at our computer models projecting at least the range of snow accumulations, not much. An inch at Beaver Mountain, maybe a little bit more in Snowbird. That's why we're saying this is not a big storm, at least over the canyons. We might get a little bit of a skiff. Valley seeing a few flakes flying, and that's about it. Confirming, take a look at our computer models where, again, we move the clock from tonight through tomorrow morning. We're not going to see an impact or potentially seeing slick roads for your morning commute. But as you can see, the showers near the Utah-Idaho border, they slide further south as the day progresses on, particularly in the afternoon. We're going to see maybe a better chance of some canyon snow up through Sardine, Logan Canyon as we head into the late afternoon, early evening hours. But even along I-80, Parley's Canyon could see some brief snowflakes as well. And that lingers on at least a little bit tomorrow night through Tuesday morning. And that's just the brush by storm, but then moisture begins to pump in across the south where we see some big changes on Wednesday. So for tonight, we're going to see overnight lows dipping down into the 20s and 30s. For tomorrow, we're in the upper 30s and low 40s. We'll see that just brief shower, and it's mainly snow across the northern Wasatch Front, extreme northern Utah, near the Utah-Idaho border. Most of the state will be looking at partly sunny skies. And we're not looking at snow totals, but they were impressive. But let's talk about what we're expecting to see your 7-day forecast for the Dixie area. We've got rain hitting Wednesday and Thursday. Notice the temperatures. This storm coming in from the southwest, so it doesn't get too cold, so we won't see that snow that was falling from this last storm down in the Dixie area. And for northern Utah, we keep the showers away, at least as we look for most of the work week. But as we head into the weekend, it changes. A mixture of rain and snow as you see temperatures in the 40s and a possibility of snow next week, Sunday. But it hits on the weekend. Of course, that's the time to take advantage to get all your shopping done. But
absolutely.
Oh.
So, but now would be a good stretch to wash all that salt and gunk off your car, right?
Good opportunity to wash the car. And hopefully the diversion doesn't get too strong. We'll kind of hopefully keep things mixed out.
Cross our fingers. Thanks, Brett. Still to come, we're going to show you how Intermountain Healthcare is paving the way to help create personalized medicine for children all across the country.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
As the snowstorms potentially move out and cold air will settle in, so could an inversion. Fox 13's Aaron Cox tells us how the nation's largest independent refinery is helping clean Utah's air.
A project more than 3 years in the making makes its debut in time to help make a difference during Utah's inversion season.
Tier 3 fuels is a very simple way to change our air quality along the Wasatch Front.
Marathon Petroleum and their family of Speedway gas stations will soon all be selling Tier 3 gasoline. This week, Governor Gary Herbert joined the company at the opening of the first pump in Salt Lake City to sell the low sulfur fuel.
And like most worthwhile ventures that we are involved with, it's because of many people coming together and getting something done. Here I am filling up the Suburban with Tier 3 fuel.
Marathon says they were inspired to expand their machinery to produce Tier 3 for Utah at the Governor's Energy Summit in 2014. Now they say there will be clean gas at all 26 Speedway stations by the end of December.
So there's lower sulfur burning through your engine, and then when that's coupled with Tier 3 equipment, emissions equipment on a car, it makes that catalytic converter more efficient at removing other emissions.
Which is how filling up with Tier 3 can make a difference in our air quality. Governor Herbert's Office of Energy Development says even if your car does not have a Tier 3 engine, using this gas instead, the standard is like taking 4 out of 5 cars off the road.
Transportation is about 50% of the emissions that we see along the Wasatch Front. So if we can shift our behavior when it comes to our vehicles, whether we look at electric vehicles or alternative combustion, and certainly Tier 3 fuels.
If you can't make it to a Speedway station to fill up your car, there are still ways you can improve air quality year-round and when inversions settle in.
Think about doing your trips in an organized way so you're using your vehicle in the most efficient manner possible.
In Salt Lake City, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
It's a first-of-its-kind collaboration in the Mountain West, leading the way nationwide. Fox 13's Max Roth tells us how advanced technology will help doctors and nurses at Primary Children's Hospital better treat their patients.
The best minds and decades of data from University of Utah Health and Intermountain Healthcare have come together with the latest in medical technology to create Primary Children's Center for Personalized Medicine.
The center incorporates genetics-based technologies and precision treatments into clinical care.
There are more than 7,000 genetic diseases, many of which affect children, like Blakely, born in 2011. Her father, Elliot Lewis, says at a few months old, she was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy.
Now, while her peers were exploring the world with newfound curiosity, SMA slowly stripped Blakely of the ability to do everything.
Blakely was never able to lift her head, to eat or drink, and eventually died at just 21 months old. 5 years later, the Lewises had a second daughter born with the same disease. But thanks to medical advancements, Evie is thriving.
So today, Evie is 7 months older than Blakely ever lived to. And her strength and imagination and curiosity just amazes us. She requires no respiratory support. You can see she plays with our dog. She can climb, kid toy towers and all kinds of things. And her future just literally couldn't be brighter.
The doctors at Intermountain Healthcare say they're working to expand from a few cures for genetic diseases to thousands.
We want to make it so that no child, no family has to experience disease. With gene therapy, our goal is to put ourselves out of business.
In Salt Lake City, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Ahead in our next half hour was a big weekend in the city of Logan, one of its most popular streets, back open, and we'll take you there.
Plus, after a devastating mudslide 2 years ago, one Riverdale family is bouncing back and bringing a beloved Christmas tradition with them.
That one was tough on us.
And the toll of the Mackenzie Lueck murder weighs heavy on the chief of Salt Lake Police's mind. That plus addressing whether or not Rio Grande has been successful so far. Coming up in 3 Questions with Bob Evans.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Thanks for joining us. It's the first day of December, so for many, that means Christmas season is officially in full swing.
Fox 13's Amanda Gary takes us to a Christmas tree lot in Riverdale, but may look a little average on the outside, but on the inside, there's a story of tradition, devastation, and perseverance.
You like this one? Yeah. What about this one, guys?
Picking out that perfect tree is an annual Christmas tradition for many Utahns, especially here at Birch's Christmas Tree Lot.
We got our noble fir, our grand firs.
And this family was determined to deliver their Christmas tradition, even after a landslide back in 2017 devastated the property they used to prepare them.
All of a sudden we seen this big wall of mud coming towards us, and we all just grabbed kids and we just took off running.
Becky grew up on that farm, her father making the space an oasis for friends and family.
Everything that he had done down there, the love that he put into the farm. And now I go down there and I don't see that.
They now prepare the trees at her son's property nearby, but is still disappointed about how the city reacted to the disaster. The cause is still not clear, according to Becky.
We've been down there for so many years. We know what to expect from this little spring that they're saying brought this hill down, and it's not.
Even though they are still recovering from the loss, Becky and her family have persevered, using a quality she says she's gotten from her father, who started the business back in 1959.
Don't tell me that we can't. Let's figure out how we can.
But members of the community say they come here for more than just trees. They come here for family.
It's not trees, it's tradition. It's family. And no matter what you're going through, you can come here and get a smile and a hug and love.
Becky says she's now suing the cities of Riverdale and Washington Terrace for monetary help to pay for the damages. Her first court appearance is the 9th. In Riverdale, Amanda Gary, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We have an update to a story we first brought you on Friday night. A Layton woman has raised enough money to pay for her father's headstone. Heidi Christine Chambers' dad, Tech Sergeant Verl Van Weerd, was a veteran who worked at Hill Air Force Base after going on multiple tours of duty. She says the VA promised to pay for his headstone, but 6 months later, her dad is still in an unmarked grave at the Syracuse Cemetery. A spokesperson with the VA says they're looking into the case. They'll have more information tomorrow when the holiday weekend is over.
A study has marking Utah with some of the best roads. The Consumer Affairs study listed Utah as number 8. Wyoming had the best roads, with other western states like Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. They hit the top 10. The study considered money spent per mile of road, major crash reports, as well as results from an emailed survey. Now, the state with the worst roads is South Carolina.
One of the most well-known streets in Logan has been closed for a makeover since August. But this weekend, it didn't just reopen, it did it with a holiday celebration.
Fox 13's Brian Champagne lets the people taking it all in tell you about it in their own words.
I think it's a big deal about traditions, a new tradition in Logan. So many people have participated to make this grand reopening of Center Street really special.
Santa Claus got to come in on the fire wagon. Merry Christmas! It was fun to see all the kids' eyes light up when they see Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
We're showcasing the High Point Clydesdale.
They're really beautiful.
That's a Clydesdale team local here that's known nationwide. This fire wagon was purchased in the early 1900s, and it's a significant part of Logan City's history.
Now for the ribbon cutting.
Our family just loves Christmas, so we wanted to come see the new sign that they made for Center Street.
Beautiful. It's a really good event for family to actually go out in this cold weather, but it's good to be out with the kids.
We're just passing out hot chocolate to any and everyone.
Wait, how'd they make it though? There's M&Ms and jelly beans to make the main part of it. No way. They did really good.
And it lights up too. Good job.
It's really pretty. I feel like I'm on a Hallmark movie.
We're going to have sidewalk cafes, and people who come to matinees will stay downtown for the evening performances. It will really enhance the experience.
What would you like for Christmas?
I just think it was a fun family and community event to really start off the holiday season.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
I'm Jeff Rainier. Coming up in sports, I'll tell you where the Utes are in this week's college football polls. And the Jazz scored a franchise record 49 points in the third quarter tonight, but wasn't enough to overcome a 40-point halftime deficit. The highlights are on the way.
Jazz in the midst of a long road trip.
Yeah, they're playing 5 days and 8 nights.
Woo.
Tonight was game 4 and day 7 or night 7. This play sums up how the first half went for the Jazz. Yeah, Rudy Gobert doesn't miss wide open dunks very often. The Jazz did stick around though. Donovan Mitchell drives and scores, put the Jazz up 7-5, so enjoy that. He scored 16 points. The Raptors went on a 23-2 run in the first quarter. Marc Gasol with 8 during that stretch. Turnovers hurt the Jazz. This one led to a Raptors fast break. Pascal Siakam bucketed the foul. The Raptors led it 37-20 after the first quarter. Jeff Green played well in stretches for the Jazz. Takes it to the rim. He scored a season-high 19 points, but Toronto closed out the first half on a 33-10 run, capping it with that 3 from Siakam. The Raptors led it by 40 at the half, 77-37. Jazz did play better in the third. Gobert, that's how he usually dunks it. 12 points, 11 rebounds. Then it's Mike Conley for 3. He led the Jazz with 20. Jazz scored a franchise record 49 points in the third to cut into that lead, but the largest halftime deficit in Jazz history, too much to overcome. Another Jazz turnover led to another Raptors break. Siakam scored 35 to lead the Raptors to a 130-110 win over the Jazz. With Alabama's loss, Utah moved up a spot in this week's college football polls. The Utes are 5th in the Associated Press top 25 and the coaches poll, just ahead of Oklahoma. LSU remains number 1, followed by Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia. The Utes play a huge game this Friday when they take on 13th ranked Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game.
It's just, you know, an opportunity for our program to take another step forward, and that's the next step in the evolution of this program is to try to win the Pac-12. We've been champions of the South now 2 years in a row, and so the next step is try to get over that next hump.
In the NFL, big game between potential Super Bowl contenders with the 49ers and Ravens. It was a great game. First quarter, Jimmy Garoppolo throws it up for Deebo Samuel. Makes the grab, 33-yard touchdown, 7-0 49ers. Lamar Jackson's having an MVP season. The Ravens quarterback with a touch pass to Mark Andrews. 20-yard score, tied it up at 7. Jackson put the Ravens up with a touchdown in the run, but the Niners answered right back. Raheem Mostert breaks free, one man to beat, and he gets by him. 40 yards for the score, tied at 14. Still tied, the final play of the game. Justin Tucker, 49-yard field goal for the win, and it is good. The Ravens won at 27-20 to improve to 10-2. The Niners also 10-2. In Denver, rookie quarterback Drew Luck made his debut for the Broncos against the Chargers, and he threw his first NFL touchdown in the first quarter. 26-yard to Cortland Sutton. How about that catch from Sutton, bringing it in with one hand? Those two hooked up later in the second quarter. Luck to Sutton, the back of the end zone, put the Broncos up 14-0. The Chargers did rally back. Phillip Rivers hucks it downfield to Keenan Allen, wide open. He leaps into the end zone. That tied the score at 17. It was still tied when Brandon McManus kicked the game winner from 53 yards out on the final play. The Broncos won at 23-20. Coming up tonight on the Fox 13 Sports page, we'll hear from the Jazz after tonight's game in Toronto, plus much more from the Utes, as well as BYU and Utah State's football games. And college basketball, Utah Valley and Southern Utah both played tonight. We'll have the highlights starting at 10:05.
Utah, Oregon, I think that's what everyone was thinking would happen.
For sure,
at
the start of the year, and we'll see how it goes on Friday.
All right.
Yep.
Great, thanks, Jeff.
Well, they show you outside with our Tribune camera. Downtown Salt Lake City, it's calm but cold. Many of you over the weekend, of course, going downtown to enjoy the Christmas lights. Current temperature 23 degrees, a few high clouds around. If you're going to go take in the lights, what nights will be good here over the next week? We'll let you know after the break.
This is Fox 13 News.
Right place, right time in the snow. Weber County Search and Rescue, Utah State Parks, and some Good Samaritans rescued some newborn puppies. 2 people came across the Great Pyrenees puppies and the mom while snowmobiling in the Ant Flat area on Saturday. They went back to that area today with some helping rescue hands. 3 puppies were rescued. We don't know why the dogs were there in the first place, but as of tonight, the mother is still on the loose.
All right, let's get another look at your weather forecast, looking long range to get you prepared for this week. Starting off, as we look tonight, we're going to keep roads dry, things fairly clear, a few high clouds around. Chilly for sure. Temperatures right now in Salt Lake City, 23 degrees, Ogden low 20s as well. Down in Utah County, we've got temperatures quite a bit warmer. As we look throughout the afternoon across most of the Wasatch Front, we saw a little development of some haze. That is expected. Of course, last night we had some cold temperatures. Version sets up, especially when we have snow on the ground. But at least the forecast from the Division of Environmental Quality said for Monday we should be good to go, hoping to keep that trend. And I think with the weak storm tracking across portions of northern Utah, we'll see some of that air just containing and maintaining its mix out, so we should be okay. And hopefully we keep it that way, fingers crossed for the rest of the week. Now, I mentioned the storm. It's actually having a little bit of impact with some light snow showers, extreme northern Utah, hitting Box Elder County, maybe traveling along I-84 going from Tremont into Snowville. You'll encounter some snow in that region. But again, most of the state looks like it's fairly clear, just a few high clouds around. We have a bit of moisture, but take a look at the flow from this first wave. It's coming in from the southwest, moving northeast, and it looks like it'll be mainly clipping extreme northern Utah. and it looks like it'll have at least the potential of bringing some showers right near the Utah-Idaho border down through Cache Valley for tomorrow into tomorrow night. But if you're heading to go towards downtown Salt Lake City, for Monday evening, it looks like temperatures will be in the upper 20s under mostly cloudy skies. So at least in Salt Lake City, you should be okay. But let's take a look long range at our computer models, what we're looking at. And really, I need to be mentioning 3 storms. This first one's very weak, again, clipping northern Utah. You see that impact and its push as we move the clock from tonight through tomorrow, where again, right near the Utah-Idaho border and the mountains of extreme northern Utah through Sardine, Logan Canyons, you could potentially, for the afternoon commute, see some light showers. That moves on. Tuesday, we're clear across the state. Notice this next storm as it moves down the California coast, ejects, and then targets and moves and tracks through southern Utah. And we're kind of splitting the state in half as we move from Wednesday into Thursday, where the showers really from central towards southern Utah. So we're going to see some rain in the Dixie area, snow a little bit further north, like in Cedar City, along the I-15 corridor, maybe as far north of Fillmore, but that's about it. That storm moves on. Then another one lines up for the weekend with more widespread precipitation and an impact statewide. This one's a little bit colder as it will bring a mixture of rain and snow across northern Utah, definitely snow up in the mountains. And the target is for Saturday or late Friday into Saturday and potentially could linger on into Sunday. So for tomorrow, some snowflakes, Wendover through Box Elder County, Cache Valley, but for most of west central towards southwestern Utah, we should be good to go with just a few high clouds around, but temperatures will be warmer, getting up into the mid-40s for many spots, even in the 50s in St. George. So returning into the 50s, 30s, and 40s as we progress from central into northeastern Utah. Wasatch Front, it's snow near the Utah-Idaho border through Logan. Maybe a brief snow shower up in Ogden, but again, Weber, Davis County southward, we should be okay. Now, as we take a look at your 7-day forecast, we're going to be looking at some rain, as I mentioned, in the Dixie area about Wednesday, Thursday, and then also potential for Saturday. It doesn't get too cold as we'll keep temperatures for most days in the 50s. Now, taking a look at northern Utah, a little brief snow shower again in extreme northern Utah for Monday, but we'll keep the clouds around, and then it really gets going as we head into Saturday and Sunday. So that's the bigger storm, and it looks like it's going to bring a mixture of rain and snow and not get too cold, but expect that wet weather for the weekend.
Little bit of a break. Thanks, Rick.
Oh yeah, not bad.
Famed radio commentator Paul Harvey once described police officers as a mingling of saint and sinner, of dust and deity, a minister, a social worker, a diplomat, a tough guy, and a gentle man or woman. It's been a challenging time for the Salt Lake Police Department with the massive Operation Rio Grande, claims of brutality from Inland Port protesters, and the gruesome murder of Mackenzie Lueck. And that's where we started when I sat down with Salt Lake Police Chief Mike Brown and asked him 3 questions. What kind of a toll has that case taken on your officers?
Bob, that was a difficult case from the very start. That case, and I've been there 28 years, and we've been through some tough ones. That one really took a toll on us. And it's because our officers cared so much. I mean, first of all, when we knew Mackenzie had come up missing, we wanted to find her. And when it wasn't looking like that was going to occur, we wanted to find her physically. But we, and I know the detectives that put hours upon hours into that case, they were doing it out of the care for the family, the compassion, and they wanted to serve the community. And so there were times when I remember orders being given, you need to go home. Go home and get some rest. Take care of your family at home for a minute, and we'll come back and regroup. But that one was tough on us.
Operation Rio Grande really changed the dynamic of the entire downtown area,
It did.
I think.
Yeah.
You know, how would you gauge the success of that operation now that we've got shelters in place and other things happening?
I think it was very successful. I don't think we've always captured every measure of success. I mean, we do have now 3 shelters that are open. Mm-hmm. And I spoke before about the road home, and it was such a mass of people that it was very hard to control. I mean, when you have 1,000 to 1,500 people down there, that's very difficult to provide service and whatever may be needed for those individuals, food, substance, and service. That was hard. Breaking them up and moving them, I think, was a very good plan. But I think there are stories behind the story. I mean, how do you measure the individual that got help or got treatment and is now back with their children or their family?
Right.
I mean, how do you measure that? And somebody that is getting help for mental illness, how do you measure? There's so many names behind this big Operation Rio Grande of people that have gotten their lives back. And I think not only what we've given to the community down there, their neighborhood back, there are so many people that we've helped that we just don't identify them. They're not captured on a stat sheet.
What is the most difficult aspect of police work, and what is the most enjoyable part of police work?
I'll start with the most enjoyable. I know the women and men of the Salt Lake City Police Department, and they are great officers. In fact, I firmly believe that the Salt Lake City Police Department is one of the best organizations in the country, and our officers serve with compassion. And when they have the chance to show that compassion to somebody, to interact with our community, to help somebody truly in need, and it's not just an arrest. I mean, I know our officers have taken money from their own pocket and bought somebody a meal. I know that we've paid for a motel room. We've bought in bicycles, different things like that. I think that is probably the most enjoyable thing for our officers. The thing they don't enjoy.
It can't be easy to inform someone that their loved one has been killed in a traffic accident. It can't be easy to watch someone spiral down because of addiction.
Yeah.
Can't be easy.
Look, when the cops come to your house and they have to tell you that your loved one has passed away, that is probably one of the hardest things that someone will ever have to do. But yet we do this daily, sometimes weekly, monthly. That's a really hard job. And so it's just difficult. I don't know how to even begin to paraphrase how hard it is.
And we haven't even talked about shoot, don't shoot situations where, you know, your life is on the line, their life is on the line.
Yeah.
And you got to make a split-second decision. I mean, and then you got to go home and take that with you. And try not to let it bleed out in your other relationships.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult, like I said, I started this conversation with this is a difficult time. Probably some of the most difficult times that I've seen and others that have done it much longer have ever seen. But yet we rise to the occasion and we serve the community and we do it because that's who we are.
Chief Mike Brown, Salt Lake Police Chief and Salt Lake Police Department, thank you so much for your service, that of your officers, and thank you so much for being part of 3 Questions.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
If you'd like to see Bob's full interview with Salt Lake City Police Chief Mike Brown, including his office's relationship with the mayor's office, claims of police brutality by Inland Port protesters, go to fox13now.com and listen to the full interview in podcast form. Just download it wherever you get your podcasts.
The Harriman teen is bringing home some hardware from Tokyo this weekend. This is Caden Brown performing one of his 3 passes in Tokyo. Wow, check him out. This is at the Trampoline and Tumbling World Championships. Brown claimed the men's tumbling bronze medal, and in the team all-around competition, the USA just missed bringing home the gold, finishing 1 point behind Russia. Now, Caden is traveling home with Team USA right now. We'll catch up with him tomorrow.
Oh, flawless.
Congrats, Caden.
Thanks for watching Fox 13 News at 9. Quickcast is next.